Good evening and welcome back to 2 Local Radio. This is Ray Ray, and right now I've got the pleasure and the honor to interview country artist AJ Jansen, who back in 2005 was a CCMA vocalist, or the best female vocalist, and also played at the Big E a bunch of times. This is a phenomenal interview. Say hello, Miss AJ Jansen.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing well. How about yourself?
Great. Yeah, just getting ready to kick off the big 4th of July weekend.
There you go. You got anything special planned?
Just doing some gigs this weekend and doing a benefit actually on Monday, a Monday night, doing a wounded veterans benefit up here in Connecticut. So I'm getting geared up for that, and then plenty of hot dogs, hamburgers, fireworks. So all the good American
This
stuff.
call is being recorded.
All right. And so that must be a very special treat, performing for all the veterans, correct?
Yes, I love it. We've done benefits before for veterans, and it's always great to meet the vets and talk about, what they've been through and listen to their stories. I love that kind of stuff. So I'm looking forward to meeting everyone on Monday night.
All right. So what was it like? I know the Big E is huge out in Connecticut and the whole New England. And what was it like performing there? Not once, but multiple times.
Yes, it was great. I mean, we had such a good time when we were performing there. We had a Chevy-sponsored stage, and it was a big 18-wheeler truck, and inside the truck was a music museum that you would walk through, and then our stage would fold out from that. And it was fantastic. We had a great time there. You got to always, if you're in New England, you have to go to the Big E, especially for the food. So it was fun. It was a lot of fun. We met some really great people, and the Big E staff has just been wonderful. So we loved it.
Oh, absolutely phenomenal. So what exactly happened? Because in 2005 you were, the best, female vocalist, and what's happened since then? Just a bunch of albums and a lot of touring?
Yes, well, actually, yes, I have 4 CDs out. I just released the last one last year in August. And I'm constantly writing. I'm touring all over. I go to Nashville a few times a year. I'm based out of New England, and we just, tour up and down the East Coast, Nashville. We've done showcases. We've performed at most of the honky-tonks down there, and we just, I'm having a good time doing all this and just playing where I can, doing interviews like this one. Trying to get my music out and just be, meeting people and really just getting feedbacks and doing meet and greets. And it's just been a really great ride since then. So we're looking forward to the future.
All right. And as AJ has told me that out in, Connecticut right now, they're experiencing some storms. So if there's any static going on, we do apologize. Yeah. But that's just how it works sometimes.
Yeah, we've got the residuals of a hurricane, so.
Oh, no, not another one of them.
Yeah.
I was actually working for a company. I don't know if I can say their name off there, but they were a medical transportation company, and we actually, there was an emergency because of the hurricane, the last hurricane that they had out that way. And they actually stuck us, in a hotel, and then I ended up with the hotel with the young guy, and I'm like, wait a second, my fiance at the time, I'm like, well, she's not going to like that too much. So I had to drive my car, going 100 miles an hour where it said only emergency vehicles, and I'm like, this is an emergency. I have to get home.
That's great. Yeah, exactly. You do what you can,
Exactly. And JP Zamet said, hi, AJ.
Oh, awesome. Yes, please tell him I said hello. And
I'm sure he's listening to the show as we speak. And JP, if you have any questions for her, please jot it down. I'm looking as we speak.
Well, I love being on shows like this because it really does give us a chance as indie artists to showcase our stuff, kind of talk about our story and what we've done, where we're going, and I'm just continuing to do this, and I'm meeting so many awesome people out there, and just people that really do make this country for what it is.
Oh, all right. Anybody listening that would like to call in, the number is 1-855-403-9071. Once again, it's 1-855-403-9071. If people don't, it wouldn't surprise me. It's 10:30 at night, and it's almost 4th of July.
Exactly. I think there's beer on balconies now, and maybe some fireworks all around the country. So.
Yeah, exactly, and we appreciate on such short notice you could actually come out, because like I said, we had a cancellation, and I hate especially to the audience. I don't care how big or small it is. When an artist doesn't show and you don't have anything else planned, it's like, are you kidding me?
Well, I'll take it when I can get it, so thank you for having me.
Not a problem. I absolutely love your music. I hate to, call out where you're from. I mean, being out in, Connecticut and whatnot, because normally country music is known, down south. However, I absolutely love, that song you have, Country Survivor. I forgot the total name.
Country Survivor, yep.
And where you say, "Hey, yeah, I'm a Northern Yankee with the a Southern heart and everything." So
yeah, well, that's what I'm about. Even though I'm from the North, I do appreciate country music, and I don't disregard how country music came about. I think the roots of any music genre is really important, and I keep that in my shows. But I did grow up here, and my mission is to gel the North and the South so that it's all one country, in country music. And I know people think of country music as the South, but there's so many people that just appreciate country music up here, and we value that. So I try to bring that out as much as I can.
And believe it or not, the South is not as backwards as people believe, and it's not all, you're a damn Yankee anymore. It's more of a,
right.
It's more of a, okay, you're here because you want to survive. Okay, you're not trying to take over. Yeah, that's why.
Yeah, that's right. The mentality has changed a lot, which is nice. The genres are crisscrossing each other. Which is nice, but I like the changes, but I also really do like staying true to country music as well, because I like I said, I appreciate where it comes from, and the legends before me, that have done all the grunt work and getting country music to where it is now is amazing.
All right, you have to give me the questions to ask, JP. I'm sorry, man. I can't ask Blake questions. JP, wants to ask, questions, but I don't see any for him to ask. When he gives them to me, I'll give them to you. But the whole thing is, what I love is your style. You're more of a, the bad girl, country artist. You're like, well, I'm not your typical country artist, and if you don't like it, I don't care. I'm still going to have fans.
That's right.
What gave you the concept of that? I mean, knowing that, country music is more of, family-oriented music and not really, rebel music. I mean, you've got some rebel stars, but for the most part, it's more of a, family-oriented and, real-life, concepts.
Well, I grew up listening to country. I grew up listening to rock. And, I've always been who I am. I've never tried to pretend to be something that I'm not, and I don't think that I can be the kind of artist that pretends that I'm a Southern belle because, everybody who knows me knows I'm not. And the way that I write my music is really from experiences and the way I feel inside. And if it comes off to being, the Rebel Rose, which was coined, that's who I am. And, I never tried to, like I said, be somebody that I'm not. So I guess that comes off as a rebel, an outlaw.
All right. JP wants to know, what bands, musicians do you listen to when you're sad?
What genres? I'm sorry?
What bands and musicians do you listen to when you're sad?
Well, I listen to, I love Jules' ballads. So I love her voice. And I listen to the old time, like Tammy Wynette stuff. Even some Jessie Coulter. I love her voice. Anything that really, just at whatever moment or mood I'm in, anything that really speaks to me at that. But I would say that those three would be probably the most that I listen to.
Okay, and he also has, what's the best concert you ever been to and why?
Oh, that would probably be my very first. The best concert that's the most memorable to me is when I saw June Carter Cash and Johnny Cash. My parents took me when I was a little girl, and I saw both of them on stage, and I'll never forget that. That was truly an experience that stayed with me. Especially now that they're gone, I appreciate that even more.
Awesome, absolutely awesome. JP also wants you to know that you are his biggest fan. Well, I mean, he's your biggest fan. Oh, I got it backwards.
Thank you. I know where you're going with that. Thank you very much, JP. I appreciate your support.
And, this is 2 Local Radio, so you never know what I'm going to say. So,
well, that's a good thing, because you never know what I'm going to say.
Well, exactly. And what I love about, when I do interviews and when we do interviews is the fact that we can have normal conversation and still, do an interview. Normally, when you go to an interview, it's like, okay, blah, 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 answer. Blah, 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 answer. With me, I'm like, hey, how you doing? So
that's good. It's like living room coffee talk.
Exactly. I believe that's how it should be. I think somebody needs to be comfortable in order to, tell you anything to begin with. If people don't trust you, they're not going to tell you shit.
That's right.
So, what made you want to be this Rebel Rose? Is it just your lifestyle, or is it just you just wanted to set out to be something different because you do have that rock and roll aspect?
Well, as I was writing and making the CDs, I found that's the image that was kind of molding me. It wasn't something that I thought out. It wasn't something that I just sat down and said, okay, I think I'm going to be calling myself a rebel. It was the lyrics in my songs. People started noticing that. They started noticing, how I dress on stage, how I sing, how I compose myself, how I stand in the music world, as far as like where I fit in, and that's how it all came about, really. And I think a lot of artists, especially if they're listening to this, can pretty much say the same thing, that honestly the image finds you. Now, you can dabble with a few different things and say, well, maybe I'm this, maybe I'm that, but it kind of finds you, and then you have to hone in on that and say, yes, this is who I am, and this is the reason that I'm this. So when it does find you, you still have to hone your craft and mold yourself to that if that's who you think you are. So
okay, well, I ask this question all the time, and I get different answers, but being that you played at some huge shows, and I don't care what anybody says, the Big E is huge. Are you more of a? There's some musicians out there that like to play for small crowds, and there's some people that like to play for their friends and family, and then there's some that really get their jollies off of playing for larger crowds. Well, where do you find that you like most playing for, or does it not matter? I mean, what really gets your adrenaline rolling?
Well, any shows that I do gets my adrenaline going. It really doesn't matter if I'm singing for 3 people or if I'm singing for 4,000 or more. A show for me is the best moment that I can think of. And any time that I get a chance to perform, I get adrenaline. So I never think of it as, oh, it's a great crowd, a big crowd. My adrenaline's pumping. It's pumping all the time when I'm ready to perform, because no matter how big or small the crowd is, I always give it my all. And, and the guys in the band, they do the same. So everybody gets a fair show, no matter how big or small. And my adrenaline is constantly, especially when I hit the stage. So yeah, I don't think that big or small really matters. I just, I always love to see people getting my, what I'm trying to say and my message. So I find that to be, I'm honored. People can go anywhere they want and pay money for tickets. And when they come to my show, it really does touch me. I feel honored when that happens. So.
And that's absolutely awesome. I love the fact that, it doesn't matter the size of the crowd, because it's about, you getting the message out, regardless. But I have to disagree. Some things, big or small, does matter. But that's for another topic.
We're talking music, right?
Depends on where your mind's at. Nah, I'm just kidding. All right. But I mean, you have done like so many things. So what was it like to accept an invitation to sing the national anthem at the Mohegan Sun Arena football game? And I know that's huge.
Yeah, it was. It was actually the first time I ever sang in front of 4,000 people.
Wow.
Yeah, I got asked to do the anthem, and they asked me if I've ever done that before, and I haven't. And I remember hanging up the phone and saying, wow, what did I just agree to, and how am I going to handle this? But when the lights went down and the flags came out, and it was just complete silence, and all you can hear and see is me and my voice, it was an amazing experience that really ingrained, what I was born to do, which is sing. And that I think I needed that moment to happen for me to realize truly this is what I want to do.
How nervous were you at that point? Because I would have been ready to piss my pants there.
Well, the funny thing is you weeks before, you try to gear yourself up, you try to imagine, especially if you've never done it before in front of all those people. You just try to imagine, you go through your nerves, you psych yourself up, and then you just wonder what it's going to be like. And then, you get nervous that day, and then 5 minutes, at least this happens for me, 5 minutes before you're ready to go on, you get in, especially me, I get into this mindset, and I'm ready to perform. And I still do that. I'll get nervous, but 5 minutes before, everybody knows to just, let AJ be by yourself, and then, boom, I'm ready to go. So.
Yeah. When you got that call, I would have been like, hey, did I just get pranked by somebody? Was this a great call or what? But in all seriousness, so what's the largest crowd you have performed in front of?
5,000.
And does it? I know you said it doesn't make a difference as far as like people wise, but as far as the experience with bigger crowds, does it feel better because you may get the better reaction? And what does it feel like for somebody to say that your song, impacted their lives or changed them or just brightened their day? How good of a feeling is that?
Well, I think that's the best compliment anyone can give me if my words or the feelings that I was feeling at the time when I wrote the song is making somebody else feel that or something else that makes it memorable. I find that to be a big compliment. And I I've been doing this since I was a little girl and writing songs since I was 10. And, I never knew that I actually had the talent until I was in my teens, because I was like, well, doesn't everybody do this? So when you find out, no, not everybody does this, then you start saying, okay, maybe I have a gift. And obviously, my parents brought that out of me and have been supportive. So, yeah, I find it to be amazing, especially when I'm in the show and people are singing my songs. It's crazy. It's undescribable.
So is it an awkward moment when somebody comes up to you and it's like, I love how your song was about, my boyfriend, about a boy, and I just got a heart broken, or just an example of that, which had nothing to do about what the song was about, but you just don't want to tell them that because you don't want to crush their dreams?
Well, that's the beautiful thing about song interpretation. Everybody interprets it a little bit differently, and I like to hear, what people think when they hear a particular song, and even if it's not dead on, or because people take things differently, and you can have a song out there, and I'll think of it differently than, let's say, you will, but it's still out there, and it still made you feel something. So if it did do that, then I did my job, and I like that.
And that's awesome. I love the fact that you're very open-minded in the sense of, okay, if you think it was about something else and it, touched your heart, well, that's great. And, I'm proud that in one way or another that I could touch your heart. Because some artists out there would find it offensive and be like, no, you know it was about this, right? And you're like, hey, whatever you believe is cool with me, because in one way or another I impacted your life, and that really touched me. Yeah,
and that's what we're all on this earth to do, is just kind of impact each other's lives in a positive way. And, especially as singer-songwriters, you want to make people feel something, and because they can listen to anything. And when they choose your material or your song and, they got something from it, whatever it is, it's pretty good compliment to a singer-songwriter. So.
And what's the difference between performing up north and down south? I know there's got to be a difference.
Well, there's definitely more country in the South, as far as like the country crowd. They know country, blindfolded, and up here, they appreciate country. They know it, but not as well as the Southern crowd does. So, the Southern crowd is used to hearing country a certain way, and the Northern crowd is used to hearing it maybe a little bit more rockin'.
That's a good way to put it. Is it different as far as, and I'm not trying to divide people, because I believe, everybody, bleeds red. Or if you're out here in Tennessee, you bleed orange, but I bleed teal as well, but that's not the point. But seriously though, as far as like differences, like when you're up north, if you were to play a cover song, I'm sure that some people wouldn't recognize, but I'm sure down south everybody'd be like, "No, you're doing it wrong."
Well, I guess the only way I can describe the two is up here a Journey song goes really well. Down there, if you're in a honky-tonk, you don't want to play a Journey song.
No, certainly not.
So that would be the real difference. Up here, if I, bring out Hank Williams Sr. song. You know, some people will know it. Some people will be like, "Oh, what's that?" But down there, if I do that, then it's kind of like putting cream in your coffee. It's kind of like it has to be there, you know. So yeah, that's the difference.
Exactly. That makes a lot of sense to me. So tell me a time when the crowd just wasn't feeling you, and what you did to make them get into your type of music.
As far as like when I play my original,
yes,
my covers?
yes. When you're doing your originals.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I always try when I construct the show on what songs we're going to do, like the set list. I always try to keep in mind and have like an introduction of myself to them with the songs that I pick. So, if they're not feeling it, I always read the audience when I'm doing a show. Even though I have a set list, I can change things around and move things around. So if I'm seeing that the crowd's not really feeling it, I might bring them back to a song that they might know, or a cover song that they might know, and kind of just tell a story around it. Because, ultimately, if they don't know you, you have to kind of make your introduction as if you were with a group of friends. And, hopefully that brings them back in, and the song that you pick brings them back in, and they start relating to you again. So it really is a relationship, stage and audience. It truly is a connection that you just got to capture. And that's why people come to see shows, is to be captured and kind of just leave their lives for a little bit and go into a different world. So that's my goal.
All right. As far as a technology base, because I like to ask this, this question, to everybody, because I think it's very important. With the time of the cell phones and the iPads and everything else, and the fact that people do like 500 million things at once, does that bother you at all, or does that really enhance your performance?
You mean during my show?
During your show.
It doesn't, I think that the technology is great to have, because as an indie artist, you can do so much with today's technology by yourself. But as far as like, obviously having your face buried in your phone while the show is going on, yeah, maybe that's, it's like they're not paying full attention unless they're doing selfies and fun things like that, then I can understand that. But if they're completely bored out of their mind, then obviously I'm not doing something right. So it could work both ways. It could be a positive and a negative.
Well, I mean, it's good, though, because for people that would never get the opportunity to, meet you because, shows are so packed, or because you're talking to so many people and you can't get to everybody all the time, and that's just reality. The fact that they can do, a homemade video and say, well, hey, I'm out here with AJ Jansen,
Yeah. Oh, I love that. Yeah, no, I thought, like, if people are just buried and doing something else on their phone, but then, yeah, obviously. But, yeah, the technology for an indie artist is remarkable nowadays. You can, I'm working on doing, actually live feeds for my website, so I'm excited about that. So that people can actually go on my website and see me perform live at a scheduled time. So that's something that's in the works. But yeah, I love technology. I love what it's done for indie artists.
So at what point did you decide that, hey, I want to be a country artist? I understand that, you started, doing music, when you were young. It says so on your bio, but I don't like to ask a bunch of bio questions. People could read that.
Well, I didn't wake up one morning and say, hey, I want to be a country artist. It kind of found me. It just kind of found...
Okay, can you relate the story a little bit?
Yeah, well, I've been singing since I was 6 years old, and I was doing recitals and, school plays. And... everywhere I went, if there was an occasion, my mom would have me sing. and she taught me so many different songs, and I started doing that even more and more. And I remember, being 6 and the audience applauding, and the first time I ever heard that and realized that it was something that I did that made that happen, I was addicted to it, and I loved it, and I loved the attention of it. I love sound, so I love that I could produce sound that makes people want to hear more. And then that just evolved, and then I started songwriting. I wasn't really aware of what I was doing, but I was just writing songs and, doing little jingles here and there. And then, when I got into my teens, it just naturally evolved. So I never really woke up and said, hey, this is what I want to do. It just kind of just naturally progressed with me. And then I realized the more shows I've done and the more songs I've sung, that, wow, this is really, it's just really naturally fitting me, it fits like a glove, that type of thing. So,
Sorry, I did not mean to cut you off.
Okay.
How did it feel at a young age to, win an award?
It was great. It was nice to be recognized. I don't do a lot of competitions. I just don't. They're great. I'm just not a competition person. But when I did win that award, it felt really good to be recognized, and it just sparked me even more. And it just kind of when you want to do something in life and you're like, well, is this the way I should be going? And things just happened to progress really well, and things just started happening for me. And one thing led to another, and then, 4 CDs later, here I am. And, if anybody told me I would be playing at the Big E or playing at Mohegan Sun and traveling to Nashville, I would have told them, well, you're crazy. So.
Yeah, that just has to be, the best feeling, especially, to win it so young. The thing is, I like the fact that you're not about, competition, because you put your music at the center of your attention, and that's where it should be.
Yeah, absolutely.
But here's the deal. You're extremely talented. You've played out in Connecticut, which I'm going to make this clear. I know at least 300 people that are glued to CMT, and I'm not kidding you, in Connecticut. So it's not like they don't know their country music, and not all Connecticut is cities. There's a lot of country, believe it or not. Not the same prices as down south, but nonetheless, there's still, country.
Well, do you know that I have a video out on CMT.com?
No, I did not know that. See, yeah. Now I'm stumped, and that's very rare.
Yeah, about a year ago, it was put on my video, A Country Girl Can't Survive, which you can see on my website, AJJansenmusic.com. If you go to CMT.com and do an artist search and just type in AJ Jansen, the video is right on there. So.
And that's Jansen, correct?
Yep, AJJansenmusic.com is my website, and then if they just type in AJ Jansen at the CMT.com website, they can find my video.
All right, and for those that just started listening, if you'd like to ask a question, you can do so via the chat, or you can give a call if I can figure out what the number is. I'm a great host, aren't I? The number's 1-855-403-9071. And there's plenty of room. There's always plenty of room, but sometimes doing these late shows, everybody's sleeping. Oh, yeah, it's the 4th of July as well.
Hey, nobody should be sleeping tonight.
There you go.
We had a big weekend ahead of us. I had to wake them all up.
So being, the rebel and everything, what is your day off like?
My day off consists of me time or time with my family, just kind of doing stuff around the house and just relaxing, really. Watching movies, maybe, taking a drive somewhere, I like to do a lot of different things. So I always like to be active. So resting for me is kind of being active in enjoying nature and maybe taking a walk. I love taking walks. I love going to the beach. So things like that.
Come on now. I heard Rebel. I was thinking about drinking and smoking and everything. What the heck?
Well, I do like my Jack and Coke, so.
There you go.
But I'm not going to divulge all my secrets yet.
There you go. And I don't expect you to. What I think we're going to do, if I can find it, I'd like to, play that northern, southern song.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have it, so I'm not going to play it.
Well, they can go to my website if they'd like to hear it. And also, if your listeners sign up for a newsletter, I give them a free song called Bar Scars and Old Guitars. So.
Oh, there you go. What's better than that? Honestly.
Well, Jack and Coke probably.
What's funny is there's a song I play all the time, but I can't find it. So you know what? I'm going to play This Ain't Dixie, and this is 2 Local Radio, 86.5 Loco, and we're with AJ Jansen, and we'll be right back.
Down in the corner is a New York City phony. He likes to think he owns this joint, but he don't. He comes from the Mason-Dixon line, where the hollers and the swallows spend their dimes, raising cane and sipping that sweet moonshine. Well, the good Lord never told him about the country way up here. We like our Hank, we like our Junior, but let's get one thing clear. This ain't Dixie, but it's country, and my southern sisters love me. We like it loud, we like it proud, are you with me? This ain't Dixie, but it's country, and my outlaw brothers know me. We like it loud, we like it proud, are you with me? This ain't Dixie. It might sound a little unholy. Don't judge me if you don't know me. We all love having us a real good time. No, we don't have the Opry, but we play it up at the Bowery. And I think George Jones can hold his head up high. But the good Lord never told him about the way we do it here. We like our Hank, we like our Junior, but let's get one thing clear. This ain't Dixie, but it's country, and my southern sisters love me. We like it loud, we like it proud, are you with me?
2 Local Radio.
This ain't Dixie, but it's country, and my outlaw brothers know me. We like it loud, we like it proud, are you with me? This ain't Dixie. Pardon me if I seem out of line, but country music stands the test of time.
All right, we're back with AJ Jansen, and this is 2 Local Radio. Did you enjoy your little breather?
Yes. Yep. I had two shots of Jack, so.
Oh, there you go. That's what life's about. So, what's your typical 4th of July going to be looking like?
Well, pool parties and again the Jack and Coke. and just spending time with family and friends, having a good time, appreciating being in the United States and being American mostly, and just being patriotic. I love that. I love the fact that I'm going to meet a whole bunch of veterans that are just amazing people, and I'm looking forward to that show and just enjoying life. That's what America's all about, is our freedoms and who we are as individuals. So
exactly, that is absolutely what it's about. So, being a bigger indie star, because you can't really say that you're a small town girl no more, because for one, you're a woman, and for two, hello, you played at the Big E and sang at a national anthem at the Mohegan Sun. So that's all I got to say about that.
Thanks.
But
I'm a work in progress.
So, what is your favorite song, and why is it your favorite song out of all the albums that you've done?
Well, I think my most favorite is called Moments, which is a ballad that I wrote for my very first CD. And I was going through a tough time of a relationship that had ended, and it was a song that, was really, if you listen to the vocals, I was in a really bad place at the time. When I recorded it literally in the studio, I was just not myself that night, and even my producer said, "What are you doing here? You should just take some time to be, by yourself." And I said, "No, I want to record this song," and I did, and everybody loves it. It won Song of the Year. It's on my website. It's called Moments. It's from my very first CD, and I would say that that's the most baby song of mine because of that. And there's other songs that I like as well, like Bar Scars and Old Guitars is really a fun song, and kind of like a chronological of life as a musician, trying to make it, So I would say those two would probably be my two favorites.
All right, and what do you have, coming up? You said you're working on your new album and everything. Do you have any tours lined up, or where are you planning on playing at?
I do. Yeah, I do. I'm actually, this Monday I'm playing in Southport, Connecticut, and then I have another singer-songwriter in Torrington, Connecticut, the singer-songwriter series. I have a bunch of stuff that I'm doing with different Tractor Supply stores in the area. I'll also be in Massachusetts doing an old-time country show.
Very cool.
In August. I'm headlining one of the fairs this year in Wolcott, Connecticut, and then I'll be off to Nashville in September for a few weeks. So excited about that.
Nice. And when you come out to Nashville, make a 2-hour drive out to Knoxville and come do a live performance.
I would love that.
No, I'm serious. If you want to, that would be totally cool.
Yeah, I would love that. I'll get to once August comes around. We'll have to coordinate something, and I'll make my way over.
Exactly. I'll make sure I buy plenty of Jack and Coke for you.
Thank you. Hey, what's your favorite drink now that we're on the subject?
Rum and Coke, but normally 151.
Whoa, that's pretty strong stuff.
Yeah, that's why I normally drink beer.
That's a safe bet.
There you go. You can't.
I'll bring the 151 if you bring the Jack. How's that?
There you go. All right. So, what is, when people think about, AJ Jansen, what is the person, or let me rephrase that. Who is the person in your eyes? What makes you you?
My personality makes me as far as I like to do things a little bit differently. I like to think outside the box. I like to pave my own way. I don't rely on other people to make things happen for me. I like to make them happen for myself. And I love to laugh. I love to joke. I love to play jokes on people. and I just enjoy the little things in life. I think that's me in a nutshell. So
that's really what life's about, to be honest, though.
Yeah.
Going out, having fun, and everything. And when you do your songs, are they, mainly things that you go through, or do you take other people's experiences, or how?
A little bit of both. Mostly it's stuff that I've gone through, experiences. But I've also have seen a lot in being a musician. You meet a lot of different people. You hear a lot of different stories. So some of the songs are about that. And but mostly the songs are about something that I've experienced, and I just kind of draw on that, and it becomes what it is,
Okay, and even though we are live and uncensored, radio and whatnot, what is the best story that you can tell us that you've heard that you care to share? Because I know some people are like, no, that's private. Don't ever say that.
Well, I'll tell you one about me.
All right, let's hear it.
All right. Well, one of my songs is No Regrets, and I was feeling, pretty alone one day, and I decided to take a trip up to New York State, and just kind of go to the country honky tonks up there. And
cool.
I was by myself, and this guy who was from Texas, approached me, and we had a really good time together, and we never saw each other again. And I wrote a song called No Regrets. So that's the short of the story. I can't get into any more details than that.
The porn channel is that way, not on 2 Local Radio. We're not that crazy.
But it was a good song. I love performing the song, and the guitar licks that are in it are fantastic. But yeah, it was a good night, and I never saw him again. He never saw me again, and we parted ways. But it was good while it lasted, for the 24 hours.
There you go. You make the most out of life, and just enjoy it. That's just what life's about.
Yep.
So, what is the typical? What is your typical day? I know it's easy to say, okay, I get up, I write songs, and I go perform.
No, yeah, there's more to it than that. I mean, this is, I do the booking and managing for the band and for myself. So a typical day is get up early and or get up late, depending on what I did the night before. And I try to set up interviews, and then I look at my emails, I answer emails, I work on Facebook, I do marketing, I do my brand, and a lot of stuff is in the works right now. But videos, editing, doing posters for shows coming up, visiting people that are going to have me, in their venue, lunch meetings, planning my trip to Nashville, sending out stuff to fans, requests or anything that they need. So it's a constant.
So you're one of them. I'm not going to say one of them because I'm one of them too. So, but a person that believes in order to get the job done, a lot of times you have to do it yourself, and you have to, constantly market and promote yourself in order to get where you got to be.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I oversee everything, from what images I use on a poster to, what the band, what we're going to be doing at a show, the behind the scenes, the front of house stuff, the sound. I have meetings with the sound engineers and just make sure that everything is running smoothly. So, yeah, it's always there's always something going on. That's for sure. No one day is the same. So, but that's the general of a little bit of what the day consists of.
And that's awesome because I know for a fact that if you do, gets signed by somebody, you're not going to get a crummy deal because you're going to be like, no. I do a lot of marketing myself, and you're not going to give me 10 cents out of a dollar. That's not going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I took the time to really learn the business, and there's so much to learn. I'm still learning. Sometimes you learn as you go, but, luckily I haven't made any catastrophe, mistakes or anything like that. So I advise, if there's artists out there listening, to just really learn the business, because it is a business. And, besides the songwriting and the producing and all that, you really got to know where you're heading and who's helping you, or, where it's all going. So you've got to be the boss of that, because it's your name out there.
All right, and somebody that's, trying to break into business other than, learning the business, what advice would you give them about how hard it is and, to keep their head up?
Yeah, well, I would say always do something every day towards your goal. Set little goals, and the little goals then add to bigger goals. But if you really want to do this, then you be prepared to hear no, and you have to be really driven. And, I mean, beyond thinking driven. I mean, this has to be you. It's a lifestyle change. You have to eat, breathe, sleep with it, whatever. That's got to be you. That's your passion. That's it. So if you're prepared to be like that, then you'll succeed. And it's never a wishy-washy thing. It's never, one day I'm this, and maybe I won't do that today. It's got to be constant.
Yeah, so truly there's no such thing as an overnight star. It's a lot of time and dedication.
Oh, yeah. Yep, even the overnights took a long time to get overnight.
There you go. It probably took them years and years just to, unless they know somebody. You know, in this day and age, it's not about what you know. It's about who you know. It's sad but true.
Yep. Well, and the other thing is like with any job in life, if you have career goals, and if you do something about it, then, yeah, you'll succeed. But you got to go through the ups and downs of it, and you got to be willing to do that. And it's a hard life, so don't think it's all glamour and glory, because it's not.
Exactly. There's a lot of loopholes you have to go through, and sometimes you got to go 3 steps forward and 10 steps back just to go 2 steps forward again. So I love your perception. I'm also an outside-of-the-box person, and I like to make apple cider out of lemons. I know everybody tells me it's not possible, but then again, people say you can't fly, but if I get in a helicopter or an airplane, I'm flying now, aren't I?
That's right.
So what inspires you, and who are the people around you that inspire you?
People that inspire me, well, obviously my family inspires me to be, they know me the best. But I appreciate people who are honest and are straightforward, who aren't lazy, who want to do stuff with their lives, who want to make an impact with their lives, and people who have, lived and made an impact, whether it's peace or just changing the music business, or, making a mark in music. I appreciate that, I learn from that.
All right, and if there's any, if you could be, on tour or, share the stage with any, artist that's alive or dead, who would it be?
Alive or dead? Well, alive, I would love Hank Williams Jr. or Merle Haggard.
And what's funny is we just had a young girl. Her name's Sam Hatmaker, and she's out here in Knoxville, Tennessee. And she said the exact same thing. So these stars must have some kind of impact.
Yeah. Now, if I had to choose female, I would love to tour with Jewel, or I would have loved to have met Tammy Wynette. Or, Loretta Lynn would be awesome, too.
And where do you see the future of country music going?
I think that the crossing genres is definitely going to be taking off more and more. As things progress, the world changes so fast. But I also think that the legendary country will always be present. It's always going to be there, and I don't think that anything can destroy that, which is a good thing because that's where it all started. So, but yeah, definitely big changes and definitely crossing the genres, which opens doors to a lot of new listeners and a lot of more fans of country music.
And being a rebel, if you were to meet, I don't know how your love life is, and I'm sure the fans would like to know, but I'm not sure you want to share. But if you were to meet the best guy out there, or maybe you have already met him, and there was an obstacle in your way or whatever, they happen to be with somebody or had bad parents or whatever, would you follow what your heart said and go anyway, or would you stay back and be like, no, this is a respect thing?
If I'm trying to follow your question, so if I met somebody.
Well, I'm just saying, typically, there are people that, don't let obstacles, deter what they're, going to do.
Right.
And then there's people that are like, okay, I'm not going to go that route. I'm going to go a different direction.
Well, it all depends on the situation. Obviously, I would never do anything to maliciously hurt somebody or say, well, I don't care if they're going to get hurt by this. I still need to get where I need to go. I wouldn't do that in a matter of, there's so much competition out there in the music business. Obviously, people get their feelings hurt left and right, but I would never do something maliciously so I can get ahead. I've never been that kind of person. So it's kind of like, your head and your heart should be as one in situations like that. So that's how I see it.
And that's a good way to answer it. And I was just trying to test your intelligence for a moment.
Is that what it was?
That's what it was. So where would you? This is what I want to know. If Nashville were to call you tomorrow and say, "Hey, well, you could sign with this, company and this, fair deal and everything, and you could tour around the world," would that be your cup of tea? Or are you more of you want to be around your friends and family?
Well, no, I think that's the ultimate goal is to get on the next plateau. So there's only so much you can do as an indie artist. So if the right deal came along and it was, the type of deal where, would enable me to get my music even more out there and really reach a broader audience nationally, then absolutely I would definitely take it. And my family's very supportive of that. That's the goal. So
okay, well,
and I love Nashville. Nashville's like my second home, so I love Nashville.
All right.
I love New England.
All right, and part 2 of that question. So now, where do you see yourself 5-10 years down the road?
Definitely touring nationally. Maybe having my song on the charts on country radio. That would be great. My goal in a couple of years is to hit the Ryman stage in Nashville, the old Grand Ole Opry. So that's my big goal for now.
And what are some little goals you think that would add up into getting there?
Well, doing interviews like this, definitely. Spending more time in Nashville and just being present, wherever I can be. Singing my songs, doing shows, making sure that that my shows are up to par and that people are really enjoying themselves and that the fans connect with me. That's really important. I really love connecting with fans and just having having that kind of relationship. So.
Well, I will say this: when you come out this way, I mean, if you choose to, and you want to come on the show and whatnot, just make sure that you tell everybody about it, so we can have everything rolling where you can have at least 100 people ask you a question. All right?
that sounds great. I'm an open book to a point, so.
No, but what I mean is we have the format that can do that. A lot of people don't realize that, and a lot of people are like, okay, because they're used to Skype interviews or radio interviews where you're only allowed 1 or 2 or 5 people and that's it. And we found a way to do beyond that, and we like to say, hey, we got this, you don't have it. So
yeah, I would love that.
So you can go somewhere, FM,
Exactly.
No, we're just proud of being on Spreaker and having this outlet. And honestly, I would not, if an FM station said tomorrow, hey, would you DJ? I'd be like, no, I won't do it, because the quality of content. I don't feel people should be limited. I don't feel people should be where, okay, you can't swear, you can't, talk about this, you can't talk about that. You're timed, 20 minutes. It's bullshit, in my opinion.
Right. Well, that's what America's based on, is the freedom to express yourself. So.
And that's what it's about. All right, I'm not going to hold you up, because I know you got a crazy 4th of July coming up and everything. But do you have any last words for the listeners?
Well, I just want to say, visit my website, ajjansenmusic.com, or look me up on Facebook. Shoot me a line. Let me know what you think, and thanks for listening to this interview. I appreciate it. Maybe I'll see you guys at one of our shows.
That would be wonderful if you're down this area, or if we're visiting family back in Connecticut and I see that you're at a show. I'll be like, hey, I'm going.
Awesome. Thanks for having me tonight.
No problem. If you can, it's not a requirement, but we do like, if you could send us an autographed copy of your CD. We don't give it to anybody. It's more of a memory thing. It's our awards, because we don't need to be on some silly show.
Yeah, shoot me your address, and I'll be happy to do that.
All right, not a problem. All right, well, it's been a pleasure, AJ, and thank you, JP, for allowing this to happen. Because of fans like you, we can have interviews like this.
Thank you.
All right, well, AJ, you have yourself a wonderful night, a heck of a 4th of July, and keep that rum cold. Or that Jack. Thanks. I apologize.
Hey, enjoy.
All right, you have yourself a good night. All right, that was AJ Jansen, and you've been listening to 86.5 to local radio. And this is the reason why we do this. If you didn't hear, the interviews from all week, then you just have no idea what we do. I mean, we allow the artists to be themselves and talk about whatever they want to talk about it, because freedom of speech is necessary, and it should not be hindered, and people should not be timed, especially great artists should not be timed in everything. It's about unity. It's about networking. It's about reaching out and touching people, and I hope people didn't take that. I don't care how they took it. But, in general, it's about, being there. And we're just glad to have and honored to have the opportunity to interview the artists that normally we would not. If we were, did not have a radio show, we could not go to a concert and say, well, hey, we're Two Local Radio. And I'm not even talking about going backstage or whatever, but just, to talk to the artists, because we'd be waiting in line like everybody else. And it's like, all right, we may one day get to talk to people. But I'm sure at a lot of these artists, if we say, hey, we're coming down, they're going to make sure to look out for us, because we care about them truly. Therefore, they care about us truly. There's a saying back in Connecticut or, known worldwide. And it's real, recognized real. And when you're full of shit, people know. And when you're real, they'll see it. And you'll get your word out. And it's all about networking. So thank you for listening to 2 Local Radio. Once again, I want to thank JP. Thank you so much for this, amazing interview. I want to thank AJ and, her family and the rest of her band and management and everything, even though she does most of the management herself, for allowing us to do this. And we appreciate it so much. And thank you all the artists that come on, as well as all our listeners. If you don't know who we are 2 Local Radio, and we're glad that you came aboard. Listen to us anytime. We're available anytime. And leave your questions, your comments, your suggestions, all that happy shit. And check out our website. We're going to have up probably the beginning of next week. We thought this weekend, but that's not going to happen. That's http www.2localradionetwork.com. And we have more shows lined up and all this happy shit, because the ultimate goal is to run 24/7, 7 days a week off Spreaker. Period. All right, this is Ray Ray. I'm going to shut the fuck up now. Have a wonderful evening.